Hello everyone, welcome to the second episode of our 12-week series titled A Street Called Straight. We are looking at the life of the Apostle Paul and trying to look especially to the stories that surrounded his conversion and what we can learn from that story as we live our lives on a daily basis. Some time ago, I read an essay by C.S. Lewis titled Screwtape Proposes a Toast. Now, the essay simply describes a graduation ceremony of a class of satanic tempters. And then Screwtape, who was a chief tempter, was addressing them. And one of their concerns in that meeting was the quality of souls that they were now bringing into hell. Of course, Screwtape complained that the quality of souls have dropped, that they are bringing some form of unserious, stupid, small sinners, as he called them, who seem not to have done any great sin, just living a life of unseriousness. And then he said that it is true, we don't like this. Hell cherishes great sinners because one great sinner can do so much more than what 500, 1,000 unserious sinners can do. But he remarked that it is better that they themselves manage their feast of unserious sinners, because the more unserious souls you have on earth, the more also unserious souls the enemy, and by the enemy they're talking about God himself, also has. By implication, what he was trying to say is that as much as hell cherishes a great sinner, they understand also that heaven also cherishes a great sinner. Why? Because that great sinner, according to Screwtape, if he is touched, if he is encountered by the enemy, and he reverses course with the same velocity with which he pursued the course of darkness, with that same velocity he will pursue the course of the kingdom of light, and that will be a great and a gruesome damage to their kingdom. So he's essentially declared that a great saint and a great sinner is made of the same stock, and that heaven and hell are looking for men who are passionate about whatever it is that they do. Now, that is the first thing I pick out as I look at the life of Saul. The Bible says that he was breathing out murder to the church. Some translations said he was uttering murder with every breath. That is, each time Saul wakes up, all he's thinking about is, how do I shut down this religion? Now, he was not simply disagreeing with the apostle. I know what you are doing, I just don't agree. No, he was committed. He was out to shutting down what the apostles were doing. He wanted to end Christianity. That was his passion. And if he was left unattended to, he won't succeed, but he would have done a great damage to the church of God. But what happened? On the road to Damascus, he encountered Jesus, and Jesus reversed his course. Now, with the same velocity that Saul was pursuing the church, trying to kill, trying to scatter, trying to destroy, it was with the same velocity that he turned to face the gospel, to face the preaching of the good news. You see, when Jesus encountered him, Jesus had no problem with his passion. Jesus had no problem with his zeal and his burning desire. All the Lord did was to channel him aright. He showed him where to go, but he never told him to calm down. Do you know why? Because Jesus likes extreme people. It is a challenge to see in the world that we live in today. There are people who call themselves Christians, and it's possible you and I are one of them, who are not passionate about anything, who are not extreme about anything. We are just normal, we are just calm, we are just prim and proper, and we are just living our life the way we like it. But there is nothing that is burning in our hearts. Thinking about this, I remember Jesus Christ talking to the church in Laodicea. He said, you are neither hot nor cold. Now, as I thought about it, I felt, okay, I prefer you were hot and not cold. But Jesus Christ said, no, either you are hot or you are cold. Now, when you think about it, both hot water and very cold water elicit the same kind of reaction from us. If somebody drops water on your hand and the water is very hot, you are going to react sharply. Now, the same way, if somebody drops very cold and chilled water on your hand without you thinking, you are going to react sharply. But if the person drops lukewarm water, it will elicit any reaction from you. The challenge in the world we live in is that we have Christians who are not passionate about anything. You are a child of God. They are not zealous. There is nothing you are doing on your social media channel. There is nothing you are doing on your WhatsApp. There is nothing you are doing on your Facebook to show that you are extreme, that you are passionate about your Christian experience. You are just trying to be cool. You're just trying to play it nice. You're just trying to assume that, okay, I don't want to look like I'm too serious. God does not have business with you, and even hell does not have business with you, because you cannot be taken serious. The generation that can be taken serious both by heaven and by hell are, for all intents and purposes, a passionate generation. I once was angry with a young girl because I felt like she was not responding to my faith. She was not responding to Christianity. She's neither good nor bad, just there. And then when I was praying about it one day, the Lord began to say to me that you are angry with someone that she's not responding to your faith. But have you wondered whether she's even responding to anything? And I said that about it. I felt like this person is just dead. Why is she still alive? She has no passion for anything. She's not passionate to be a sinner. Go and commit fornication. She's not passionate. Neither is she passionate to be a child of God. She's just there. And such kind of people are a wonder, because they cannot make an impact. They can't cause a ripple in the seas of time. The generation that is going to make an impact, that is going to cause a ripple in the seas of time, are the generation that have learned the blessed art of passion. Nothing matters more in life than a man who is passionate. It is passion that will keep you awake in the night. It is passion that will make you to make sacrifices. It is passion that is going to make you to stand out. And you can never be able to achieve anything if you are not passionate about it. Passion breeds sacrifice. Passion breeds hunger. Passion breeds the thing that helps you to go the extra mile. And that's one thing I take out from the life of Apostle Paul today. That even while he was Saul, he was not a man who played it safe. You know, I think of what Solomon said in the book of Proverbs. He said, where the ox is not there, so the crib is clean, but much profit is by the labor of the ox. That is to say, if you want a clean manger, a clean crib, a clean house, don't get an ox. That way there will be no mess, there will be no problem. But just know that if you ever want to have a harvest, you must be ready to have an ox. And if you must be ready to have an ox, you must be ready to have a manger that is daily. Now, the challenge is when you have a generation who are not willing to have a dirty manger. They want it clean, they want it prim and proper, and as a result, they are not ready to make a mess. They're not ready to push out. They're not ready to let their life shine. They're not ready to make noise. They're not ready to contend. They're not ready to fight. They're not ready to argue with people. They just want to play it safe. And at the end of the day, they are safe. Nobody is complaining against them, but they are not making any impact. So God is waiting for a generation, and I know you are one of them and you are rising up, who is going to stand up and be passionate. Whatever it is you are doing, whether in the Christian community, even in your academics, even in your career, in any area of your life, if you are going to make impact, you have to be passionate. Without passion, forget about impact. This is my word for us this week, and I want to encourage you. I did a deep dive on this. It's on my Substack and on my WordPress. You can go to the link below and subscribe and get the full gist written down. I want to encourage you also to share this video out to someone, and I look forward to seeing all of us grow up to become more passionate for God and more passionate for what He has committed in our hands to do. And as we live till we see next week, I want to say to you, remember that God does not have anything to do with a generation that refuses to carry fire. Thank you, and God bless you.